Good morning. Good morning. I am truly delighted to be here in Guadalajara, Mexico this morning with all of you at IGF 2016. I want to express our collective appreciation to our fabulous host, the government of Mexico, and especially to Victor and Alejandro, who have become close and dear allies over this past year, together with other friends across the Mexican government and across the internet community here in Mexico, for the support and the very hard work of the past year to find this beautiful venue. It is quite beautiful, and to welcome us with such warmth to your wonderful country. So thank you. You know, as Lynn pointed out, for 10 years, this wonderful forum has been bringing stakeholders, users of the internet, together in what I know I have called in the past a bazaar of ideas. Even outside is all set up so that one can go from one booth to the other, from one little tent to the other, to hear and to understand and to think about the innovative ideas that we all bring to the table. We moved from these innovative ideas to innovative solutions as we have worked together over these years. And we have really come to we've come to grips with some best practices as we think about the governance issues around this global borderless internet. And I would say that we were quite successful, and I want to congratulate this assembly that we successfully concluded the UN 10-year WSIS review, where the governments of the world, let's remember this, confirmed and endorsed the governance model that we have all worked so hard to establish and to implement. We are multi-stakeholder. That word has been vexing to so many. What does it mean? Well, it means that we are users, providers, technologists, activists, governments who come together to try to address the changing world we live in this internet age. We have now been entrusted with making the model work for the next 10 years. That's a large task, given the challenges we face. We know that one half the world is still not connected, and Vint did a fabulous job, didn't he just, in giving us a course on the unfinished business. I think that that unfinished business must become our work. And we need to feel the urgency around some of this. You know, my own passion for this internet lies in its very architecture: global, open, inclusive, a tool for connection, communication, and collaboration. But we know that the winds of change are blowing. We know that there are challenges that lie before us and issues around the vulnerabilities of some of the technology, in issues around some of the uses of the internet that have not been for the general good, but in some ways hurt people who want to use the internet. We as an internet community must face those issues that we broadly call trust. Do we have trust? Is there trust in the use of the tool for the benefit of us all? And how do we all want to start thinking about the governance issues of ourselves on the internet? So this idea of ethical behavior, this idea of ensuring that the good of the community is upheld while we hold on to those ideas of inclusiveness, of access of everyone on the internet everywhere. As you know, it is our mission at ISOC to ensure that we do have this global, open, trusted internet everywhere for everyone. That's quite a sentence, and it calls upon us to look at each of these elements and ensure that we are working hard to make it part of our future. Interestingly, over the last 10 years, this tool, this internet tool, has finally been embraced by people who are thinking about the development issues for the whole of the world. So the Sustainable Development Goals I find most useful in trying to understand where we as a world global community want to go in all of the human necessities: education, healthcare, poverty alleviation, the rights of women, the rights of minority people in all the various countries of the world. It helps us have a roadmap to the work we need to do with respect to the internet's influence and enabling of achieving those goals. For the moment, I'd like to concentrate on Goal 9C, significantly increase access to information and communication technology and strive to provide universal and affordable access to the internet in the least developed countries by 2020. Why is that goal so fundamental? Because if we achieve this goal, that we have universal access in the least developed countries or the least developed places in all countries, we will have achieved it for everyone. For surely, if we connect the last 1 billion, we will have connected the 3 to 4 billion who have not yet achieved access to the internet. Behind you, you see some pictures of the work that ISOC and its development partners are doing in this region and around the world in developing community networks in villages that are the most underserved and in some cases underrepresented in the political arena. Our partners, who will hold a roundtable, I think later today or tomorrow, and I should have really given you the date and time, will talk about this development of community capacity, human capacity, technical capacity, and then using the technology for whatever it is the village wants to use it for. You will see here some pictures of, and we're going to start at the beginning so I can almost tell you where they are. Here in Agua Azul, about 40 kilometers outside of Cancun, where we have a beautiful program, schools, these fabulous children, the most well-behaved children I've ever seen, who actually wait their turn to use a Raspberry, by the way, because we're not yet connected to the overall internet, but are learning how to use the internet functions for their own future. You see our community in Tulonia, India, where again, the community itself has built a Wi-Fi network that is used by the women of the community in their manufacturing of solar ovens for their villages, and where the children also line up to learn the internet skills. You will see a school for farmers in Sri Lanka, where the community internet, the community network, allows those farmers to get the information and send their goods around the world. And my favorite, you will see, is a sign that's put up on one of the walls that talks about the inspiration that people living in the community give to each other to serve each other in that community so that they all achieve together. It is quite moving, and it is quite part of the spirit of the internet itself. We believe that those villages and the experience in those villages provide for a policy framework for what we need to do to meet Goal 9C. You see, because they can put up those small networks, but they need to be connected. They need backhaul. So let's get tactical. One of those schools is but 2 miles from the main highway, where you see the towers, the wireless towers running down the side of the road, and any one of us who understands these networks knows that there is backhaul that's running right down that highway. Why can't we get that school and that town connected? Honestly, how much traffic is coming from a small little village? In Tolonia, not so many kilometers away, is a railroad line with fiber running right down it. My point being, this backhaul issue shouldn't be as hard as we're making it. Yes, we want to strive for every part of every country to have that kind of network that would reach, in commercial terms, every place else. But until that happens, there are solutions. There is a policy here about whether and how we want to connect those small villages. In order to run that Wi-Fi network there, you need a spectrum license. You need to have some spectrum to run a wireless network over. Does that license have to be so big that our partners can't afford to get it? Or can it be a small swath so that it is affordable and they can take on the spectrum they need to do what they need to do? What do we do for sustainability of the businesses that are being developed by the people in the village? I can tell you now, and I hope you understand this yourselves and you can tell me better, that as we go around the world, it is clear to me that the business rules for the emerging internet are not in place in many, many places. So that the things that are produced, information, actual goods, that can indeed make the whole of the village sustainable, have no rules about what to do about this. How do I sell my scarves? Can I put this information out to the entire world? Can I sell the basket in Europe? How do I ship it? Are there taxes? So we have to move a little bit further in our thinking. From yes, we have to provide the infrastructure, but then we need the business infrastructure to actually allow the businesses to go forward and to have the whole of the village be financially sustained. I'm hoping that, no, I want to make one last point. While we are doing this, we absolutely must do it better. We must address the trust issue. We must, as I think Vint laid out, address this security issue, because the security issue goes to the safety issue. Am I safe online? Can I do what I need to do? Can I trust what's happened on the other end of the transmission I make? Can I trust that something I say online will not be used for me to lose my liberty? We have some issues. And we need, as we think about connecting the rest of the world, to face them. Because 10 years into this great age, this internet digital age, we understand that this is the existential issue of our internet age, of our 21st internet, that it is a safe internet, and that wherever those technical vulnerabilities lie, we're working hard on them, and where the societal vulnerabilities lie, we have an answer for them. It is time for us as the internet community to put some productive, concrete ideas on the table and to start to be activists about them, to find the places where we get the normative behavior, whether it be community-based, contractually based, and when and where necessary, government-based, so that the users of the internet feel safe. So, this week, in the workshops we'll all attend, I hope we get serious about these two big ideas: access and safety. Trust, security, access. And that we together make some commitments about what we will do as a community to address these challenges. I especially, in wrapping up here, want to call out our chapters, our ISOC chapters, some of which are here, some of which the leaders are depicted in some of these pictures, who lead so much of what is going on in the community on the ground. We have 134 chapters now in 97 countries, I believe, around the world. People who are working hard each and every day to create their own futures. Finally, let me double down on this notion that the internet is about the future. It's always about tomorrow. So I'm thrilled that the next generation of internet leaders, 90 young activists from Mexico, from the region, and from around the world, are here at IGF 2016. I see some of you out there. You make me smile every time I see you. They are being supported by the ISOC Ambassador Program, but also by CGI, by the government of Mexico, by NIC.MX, and also by Google and Intel and Microsoft and Verizon. So congratulations to the supporters, and I'm looking forward to hearing from our young leaders, to our future IGF coordinators, I hope, and not so future. I hope soon they will step up and take over for us crusty old folks. By training these young leaders in areas such as internet governance, privacy, security, access, how to build the internet, how to build networks, how to connect the world, we continue to create the next generation of the internet itself. So thank you very much for this kind invitation for me to speak, for the Internet Society to be here in this opening session on day 0. Many, many, many thanks to our friends in Mexico for the warm welcome, and again, thank you for your generous hospitality. I wish you all a very good IGF, and I'll see you in the hallways. Thank you.